Hi, welcome to Run It Software. My name is Mike Strading, and I'm going to demonstrate today how the installation schedule works in Run It Software. So when you open up your program, you go all the way to the top and go to the far right here. You'll see Installation Schedule. Click on that and go ahead and view the schedule. This is your installation schedule. You can see that it's fairly colorful. This is what's going on within your shop. As I click the days that have a little yellow bubble here, the yellow means there's something on the schedule, and it's green meaning go, yellow meaning slowing down, and red meaning full. So these are all yellow, which tells me at a glance that any day that's yellow or blank or even green is ready. It does have some space on it and definitely could be considered a day that's open for an install. So we're going to go ahead and click on this particular day of, we'll go ahead and go out to 9/22. And you can see we've got 19.88 hours worth booked, and that's cumulative hours over all of our installers here. So if we click on to Jennifer Pritchard here, and I click on her name, and she's scheduled under this particular installer right here, we can see what her job is. It's actually, this is the customer's name, this is the builder she's associated with. She's got closets that's approved for installation. That's 2.31 hours. Again, so what we want to do is we've got probably some extra labor built into this. So we get a total of 6.3 hours at the end of the day to get this job put in. Up over here, you're going to see a hopper. And this is actually all of the jobs that are just recently approved, and they need to be scheduled yet. They need to get themselves on here. And so as a installation manager, I'm going to click in here. I want to know what this job is for this Beechwood. So I'm going to click onto it. And as I click onto it, you can see it's the Beechwood for this builder up in Traverse City. There's a lot of things that are on hold. So it looks like we quoted him a lot of things. But the only thing that's really approved for installation is the door hardware. These other items are quoted, but they're all on hold yet. So we've got a little bit of work to do. But so right now, out of all the different items that we could be installing for this job, the only thing that we've got scheduled is the door hardware. All right. And so now I need to know, I got a good idea that this is about 12, almost 13 hours worth of work, big day. And I'm going to want to, find a date and time in my calendar here where that will fit. Now he requested on 9/28. That's the date that he'd like to have it put in. So we're going to go down here to 9/28, and we're going to say, oh yeah, there's some room here. And what we could do is just simply go ahead and add this item. Now the first thing that pops up is, are you scheduling shop time? This was something we plugged in to simply just say, hey, if I just want to schedule a guy to sweep the back floor or fix the lights on the outside of the building, I could use this method here and just hit the add and then hit yes, and I could just schedule some generic shop time for a guy, and I'll get to that in a minute. So right now, no, I'm not scheduling shop time. I'm actually going to schedule this job, so I'm going to click no. All right, so I've got 12.8 hours, and they like it on the 9/28. So here's what my work schedule is for 9/28 right here. And I look at a couple guys that are open, and I'm pretty open. Now I know that I have certain installers that do door hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and select this guy, Chad. And he's on my list up here. It's the same list I have down here. And I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to assign Chad to do it. And if I want him to have a helper, I can pick one of these guys to give him a hand. But I'm just going to have Chad do this by himself. And they really like 9/28, so I'm just going to go make sure I'm on to 9/28. And if there's any extra hours that for some reason it's a long ways away, or he's got to drive a long ways, I can always add in like 2 extra hours here. Now this job is quite a long way, so I'm going to add in 2. And then priority, what that really means is, what stop of the day do you want it? You want it first stop, second stop, third stop, fourth stop, and so on. Well, it's a big day, so he better get there first stop. And notice the only thing that's approved is the door hardware. I can't even check glass or closets or accessories, because those items are bid but they're not approved. So the only thing that's ready to install is door hardware. So that's the only one that's open. So I go ahead and check it. Now if there's notes here, I might want to write, bring extra drill, or whatever note that I want attached with this. I can type that in here. So at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and save this. And it's going to go ahead and put this Beechwood job, took it off this list here, and went ahead and installed it and put it in here. So now when I click it, it's just real simple. It's only door hardware. It's approved for installation, 12.8 hours. Now remember, we had some extra labor in there, so it's 12.8 here, but it's 14.8 here, because we've got 2 hours of extra labor right here. And as I click it, it says to bring the extra drill. Okay, so now if for some reason I want to take it off the schedule or change the date, let's just go ahead and say the builder called and said he's not ready for it on the 28th. He'd like it 1 day later on the 29th. So I click to the 29th and I say, yeah, that's pretty open. So let's go back to this job. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to change the date to the 29th, and I'm going to save it. All it's going to do is move it from the 28th to the 29th. And now I'm on the 29th. 29th. Here's the Beechwood job. Okay. Now for some reason the house caught on fire and it blew up, and it's going to have to be completely rebuilt or whatever happened. And that job just needs to be canceled. So we can just go ahead and hit cancel, and we can hit delete scheduled task, and we hit yes, and it goes away. But keep in mind, it's back up here on the approved list here. So what we'd have to do then is we'd have to go in through and unapprove that job to get it off this list. And so what we do is we go find the job first, and I think it was called the Beechwood. There it is. Click OK. So here's the job, and we go to the approval tab, and sure enough, the door hardware is approved, but it's all locked up. So what we could do is we can actually unlock this thing with a special password from maybe a supervisor or whoever, because it's kind of a serious deal to take a job off the schedule. So we type in our passcode, and we hit continue, and it says, are you sure you're going to deallocate all the door hardware items? And we're going to go ahead and say yes, we're going to do that. And so now when we go back to the work schedule, we need to refresh the screen here. Let me go back into the work schedule. You notice the Beechwood house is no longer here, and it's no longer scheduled. It's gone. So it's it's back in a state of waiting to be approved. So let's say 3 days go by and then everything is okay. We go ahead and edit this order, and we go ahead and we can reapprove this Beechwood. And again, it locks it back up. And if we want to go back into here, you can see the Beechwood pop back on. Our job's ready to be scheduled, and we can put it right back in here again. This concludes the demonstration for the job schedule. If you have more detailed questions or any other issues with things you would like to see, please don't hesitate to contact me at area code 616-772-1119. Thanks for your time.